I just want to go to sleep under a quiet tree. That's all I want. You heard the noise here, haven't you? I want to go to sleep under a quiet tree. Sometimes it seems there's nothing else left for me. I've lost everything else I ever had. My wife, my 7 children, or my 8 children. I lost my first child. My home, everything I've got. It's a damn shame, a crying shame. Just before I came here, I was keeping the peace for 5 years. And there was trouble in our neighbourhood. And there's kids, badly behaved kids to begin with, juvenile delinquents. And then they get into drinking drugs as they get older. And then the place turns into a drink and drugs den for all the undesirables of the area. And they're all throwing pavement stones through my windows. Because we're the ones who are standing up and saying, hey, behave, don't do this to your neighbours. Starts other neighbours get bricks through their window. Anybody that they don't like, they attack. We ended up being the #1 target. I'm being the witness against them, time and time in court. I start by saying, come on kids, behave yourself. It just goes from bad to worse, I'm afraid. We had sheer hell for 5 years. That's part of our breakup of my marriage, that's part of it. What did I do before I came here? What didn't I do? What work didn't I do? I was to go to an agency and they asked to see my CTV. They say, I've done so many different things. And they like to say, jack of all trades, master of none, don't they? I like to think I'm a master of all trades that I put my hand to. And do you know what? It's mostly about care. I taught my dear Kay to pass a driving test. In 9 weeks, we had a 12-seater Hi-Ace, Toyota Hi-Ace, 12-seater minibus. And together, we passed her through the test in 9 weeks, first time. And do you know my wife? She was good. She was damn good. I was proud of her. And I was proud of myself. We had the best period of communication we've had in our lives while we were doing that. And I was so patient, so kind, so good. So I'm a driving instructor. And I'm a carpenter, cabinet maker. I used to make fine furniture. One off. That's why I'm sitting here partly. Embarking in East London, poor area, and I'm making beautiful, fine furniture. You walk into my shop with a vague idea, I would design it for you, hand build it for you, make it, every part of the operation, the joinery, the cabinet making, the polishing, the upholstery, I do the lot. I colour match your furniture to some that you already have. I do the lot. And I'd sell you a made-to-measure suit, a bespoke piece of furniture, bespoke. I'd sell it for an off-the-peg price. It's not the way to do business, is it? Bit bloody stupid. But what you do when it's hand to mouth, anything to keep going. Love your neighbour's child as your own. As much, not more. And when my little kids, some of them have said words to the effect, my Naomi. I think she must have been 12 or 13 when she said this. I've been here over 3 years now. Tell me what you think, darling, on the mobile. Tell me what you think. Well, Dad, there's millions of them and there's only 7 of us, but we do miss you. Broke my heart. See this little lad? I saw a little boy like him in Belfast way back in Christmas, was it 70 or 71? I forget. When the troubles were starting up again, I went there carol singing as a lad of 20 or so. I went in the Falls and in the Shankill, in and out of the Divide. I saw a fish and chip shop in Shankill Road that was bombed. People blown up as they went to get their fish and chip supper. I went to Cambodia at Christmas '89. Cambodia, the place of the skulls, the killing fields. And when I was in Cambodia, I could never figure for the life of me. Those people were dying. They'd give an arm and a leg to go to America. The people in Cambodia and some from Vietnam who were in Cambodia, they'd give an arm and a leg to go to America. And I'm thinking, you want to go to the country that dropped napalm on your women and children, that bombed you to pieces, that killed so many, 3.5 million were killed in Vietnam. My dad, he was a sniper in the Second World War in the British Army. Terrible, awful job. Part 2 of his awful story, he went into Bergen-Belsen. He was in the reconnaissance corps, right at the front of the army, one of the first to go into that death camp, to be the saviour of those people. Oh yes, my dad was a sniper, went into Bergen-Belsen. He gassed himself 20 years after that in a small church in Whitstable, Kent. And I lost my dad. I never had my dad. See this board here? If it was ours, it says, oh, I wrote that story. And the dear lady, the editor, she added some extra words to it, which the wonderful Brian Hoare, oh, the wonderful Brian Hoare, is incomplete. It should say the weird and wonderful ex-wanker Brian Hoare. Let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest with ourselves. And my wife, that silly, stupid woman. Here am I, Mr. Wonderful. More loving, more wonderful than I've ever been in my life. If she'd have got rid of me while I was Mr. Brian Wanker, would have made sense, wouldn't it? But now I'm Mr. Wonderful. Hey, come on. Me, I'm living on borrowed time. Sometimes it seems, how can I live another day? I don't want to live another day. Every day is torture for me. Every single day is bloody torture. What does it take to make us love? What does it take to make us care? What does it take to make us love? What does it take to make us care? Imagine how I feel